So guys, now what I want to do is give you one more video. I'm also going to be sending you a companion video called the Divine 9, which is actually recorded by my mentor. He did the same thing I'm doing for you, for me. We had a lot less products back then, that's why I sent you all these other concepts. But it's called the Divine 9, and that's the 9 different things we would want from a retirement fund and why we would choose an indexed annuity. So what I want to do is go over the 3 types of annuities with you guys really quick. I'm going to package all these videos together and get them sent out to you guys to study, and then I'll be following up on some phone calls with you later, okay? So, what are the 3 types of annuities, okay? Now, one thing you guys will learn is when you mention the word annuities, a lot of people will sometimes jump back a little nervous because they've only been exposed to a variable annuity, okay? So when I go over the variable annuity part, you'll understand the reason that they're kind of skeptical is because why? If I put my money in a variable annuity, I'm paying fees, right, to have the product where I still have risk and losses in the market that I could just be getting going to an advisor or not even paying that one fee, right? So there's extra fees that don't need to be there, okay? That's why people don't like them, okay? But let's just look at this. There's 3 types that you can go with: a fixed, a variable, or an indexed. So what's the difference between the 3? And how do they work? It's very simple. In a fixed, they're going to give me what? A fixed guarantee. Typically, it's around 3%. All right? So let's just say this. Say I have $10,000, right? And I get a 3% return, right? That's going to be what? $300. Now, the one thing that we have to keep in mind is we haven't dealt with a few things, right? Inflation or taxes, okay? So the cost of living goes up about 5 to 8% every year. So if I'm getting 3%, I'm just going to be generous, and let's just say the cost of living only goes up 3% instead of 5. Well, if the cost of living goes up 3%, that's an expense. I really haven't made anything, right? Now here's the problem. The government, however, says I made 3%. They're not taking inflation into account. So I still have to pay taxes on that money. So if I'm in about a 30% tax bracket on average, out of that 300, what am I paying? $90 in taxes, and I still haven't made any money. I'm actually losing money. So what you have to be careful with fixed investments is making sure that your interest rate outpaces what? Inflation. And that's why when you go to a bank and you see point something, it can take you up to 200, 300 years to double your money. Is it sometimes appropriate for a fixed investment? Yeah, if I have an older client who just doesn't want market risk and they just want to get what they can get guaranteed every month, so yeah, fine, you know what, that can be an appropriate time sometimes, okay? Now let's look at a variable. Variables are very easy to explain. One, they're loaded with fees, so people don't like that. But how does the money work? Listen, you could have $1 million in a variable annuity. If the market tanks 50%, what do you have? $500,000. Do you want to take that risk? And do you want to pay fees to take that risk? No, that's why we don't sell them to our clients, okay? Now, indexed annuities. This is what we do recommend. I own an indexed annuity, okay? So, what do you mean, what is it, okay? Well, let's just say we have, what's the best way to explain it? $100,000 in my indexed annuity, okay? If the market goes up, I'm gonna get most of the ups, right? If the market goes down, I'm never gonna lose any money. So how do they make that guarantee? Okay, well, remember they guaranteed you a fixed rate of 3%. So now I have an option. Do I want the fixed rate, right? Or do I want to invest it into the market and see what happens with a guarantee that I'll never lose my principal account? So let's look at it. If they give me that 3%, right, I got $3,000 that I can decide what to do with. Now I can take my $3,000, understanding I'm not keeping up with inflation, or I can say, listen guys, take my $3,000 and go bet it. And they're gonna bet on what are called call options, okay? So what happens is, say that $3,000 turns into $15,000 off that investment, okay? They're gonna give me 10, and they're gonna keep 5, okay? So the next year I'm gonna start over at 110,000. But this year, that 3% I get 3,300. So we go out and we bet the 3,300 again, but this time we lose it. My 110 was never lost. I start over year 3 at 110. And then that trend can continue again and again and again, noticing that I lock in my gains, right? I lock in my gains. I never lose the losses, right? I just don't get all the ups. So that's what you call a cap. You got to remember this. The product might have a cap at 15%. The stock market might do 25. If the stock market does 25 and you have a cap of 15, what do you get? 15. The thing to remember is though, when the market tanks and you lose 20%, you don't lose anything in this product. So what's harder to do is what? Grow your money back. It's harder to get back what you've lost. So if you've never lost any money in the first place, your money is going to grow a lot faster and a lot further than trying to make up for all your losses. And then you have all the extra benefits of the asset protection, probate protection, no fees, all the good juicy stuff that people want, okay? So that's the difference between the 3 types of annuities so you guys understand how they work, right? Again, I'll be doing this in person with you, but if you have any questions, feel free to text me, email me, or whatever, and we'll be able to go over that, okay?